Good evening, Agit und so, question was posted as to what is Yechidah. So it's thank you for asking, because I guess it should be made more clear. So the way it works is that Chassidus came along. It's not Chassidus. It started with Kabbalah, the Reb Shimon, Zohar, and then from there the Arizal, and then Chassidus. They came along and they created a language for different feelings, different emotions that we're having, that we're feeling. They also created a language. Part of that language, there's words in the vocabulary. There's also different. When I'm in a different space, when I have higher consciousness, when I'm more aware of what's going on. I'm not always in the same consciousness. We're not always in the same level of awareness. We have different days, different hours, and different times, and it all depends on. Can depend anything, right? You can think you didn't sleep, but it all depends on what I eat, what I think, what I did, and it's all moving. What somebody else did. We're all affected by everybody. So we have different, and everything shows up. You can have one letter and one thing used 10 different ways. It means nothing, because when you take this letter and you put it next to an aleph, it's one word. You take it, put it next to a lam, but it's a different word. So it's. But for mostly what we're dealing with is we have to do the vier Welten. We have Atzilus, Bria, Yetzirah, Asiya. Asiya is the lowest world. We live in the lowest world in Asiya. And we say we live in the lowest world. Is right now we live in the lowest world. There's different times that I'm operating from a different consciousness, from a higher consciousness. Within Asiya, there's also levels. Every one of these worlds, every one of these levels have Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chai, Yechidah. Okay, but ultimately the big one is we have Asiya, which is Nefesh, David HaMelech. We have Yetzirah, which is Ruach, Spirit, Eliyahu Navi. We have Bria, which is Neshama, Moshe Rabbeinu. Then we have Atzilus, which is Chaya and Adam Erishan. And then we have Yechidah, which is Mashiach. What does it mean? So as we have these four worlds, these are four consciousness, four real, there's different stuff happening in each one of these worlds. Chassidus is explaining that Kabbalah is more cryptic, they're more in letters and coding, and Chassidus opens it up. What am I feeling when I feel this? It's Atzilus, Shabbos, we're here, Yom Tov, we're there, and which zip code in there, right? There's different, but ultimately what we're addressing here, we're not looking to have codes, we're looking to understand when I feel something, to be able to recognize it, because a lot of us, we go through feelings. I go through certain tastes and I don't know because I'm not aware of what's happening, right? So I need to open myself. So Hasidus is educating it as I'm learning it. I'm not learning it to contain it. I'm learning to get to know it. V'yadata Hashem, tzidiyas Hashem. Learning, you can learn Gemara. Hasidus is not to get to know it. It's basically, it's to awaken myself, to bring awareness to myself, and from that place I can zoom out and I can see and I can observe, and then I can do a Malchus Shaka, and I can do my job over here in Welt and express Eibishter, because the more I become aware of what's going on, the more I become aware of there are different things. Oh, I used to think that I just go that way. I look here because of this, but really there's actually something happening when we sleep this way, that way, right? It's not, I'm just repeating, not that it's irrelevant, just different ideas, that everything has something, because we are part of a program, we are in real time. And as I'm moving and as I'm doing things, there's a real effect. So Creator has different ways of. The question is, if Eibishter is everything, and we can't really see him, right? Because if we see him in the pure form that it is, then we can't be. Because no person can see me. Abisha tells Moshe Rabbeinu, nobody can see me and be alive the way we are, because we would be nichlal, we would go back into the flame. So with his chesed, he created a system that we can see him, we can appreciate this greatness, this great thing. So can he? So Kim tells, is there a way for us to see Creator? How could we see him? So what happens is that in every level, he manifests somehow. There is something that represents it. There's something that represents it. Kaviyachol, right? Kaviyachol. Kaviyachol means like as if, like it's far removed, or just a mashal. It's a mirror image. So in Welt here in Asiya, there was Nefesh. Who mastered Nefesh? Nefesh is my body, my goof, my blood, and my eating and all that. Who is the master of Nefesh? David HaMelech. He was always in wars. He was physically fighting with Choshech, and he himself had a very difficult life, right? But he was a Merkava, David HaMelech. So he mastered Nefesh. And then we're going to Yetzirah. Yetzirah represents the world of Ruach. It's more spirit. It's my thought process, my machshava. It's that type of thing. It's more Ruachi, feeling it, right? Spirit, Ruach HaKodesh. So that Eliyahu Navi was how Creator manifested himself in Veld, because he had to land all these concepts. Somebody had to act it out, because remember, everything is in the Torah. And the Torah is acted out. We are holding Torah down. We are here. We are manifestations of Torah. So everything has to play out. It's not that this is Eibishter or anything like it, but it represents that qualities from as Veld begins, as we know it, from Adam Kat, from Ak, or from Atzilus, whatever it is. But these are just Kulam B'Chachmas. This is all within our world. And there is a whole thing that we it's not on our channel. We're not programmed yet to operate. We can't read that yet. It's within us. We're not aware of it. It's our makav. It's soiviv, right? V'ruach halikim arachefas al pnei hamayim. Ruach shel Mashiach is floating on the face of the water as the Eibishter created the world. So now, then you have Bria. Bria is neshama. That's Moshe Rabbeinu. He mastered neshama, Torah, all that. And neshama is also creating. It's more neshamadik. It's more nitzchis, right? It's more, so it's Torah comes from there, pours out of there. Then we have in Atzilus we have Chaya. Chaya is Adam Rishon. He manifested that of Creator, and then we go on into Yechidah again. Yechidah is oneness, that is Mashiach. So I'm going to go back one more time to nefesh and how we acting. When am I in nefesh and when am I in the different things? So nefesh is as I'm walking, I'm doing my day, I'm eating, I'm feeling myself. That's when I'm operating in nefesh. I look good, right? I'm just using examples. It's not, written in stone, but just so we understand, so we become aware of what's working where. Ruach is my moods. What do I feel? I have this type of mood, that mood. So that's ruach. It's a spirit. When I'm happy, when I'm sad. Let me see if there's one more thing I can do on ruach to make it more tangible. Okay, let's see. We'll continue moving. Ruach is also, I would say, like as I'm sitting down to learn. There's a ruach. There's a spirit that moves me. Right. I'm going to learn. Okay. Neshama is as I'm learning Torah. I'm sitting, I'm learning, my mind is active, I'm processing that is neshama. This is how neshama comes out in Welt, not when I'm eating. When I'm eating, is already neshama has a tougher job. It's a more delicate job. It's a more edel job. It's less. It's less out there in front of me. How does neshama? Because it's nefesh. I'm eating, and then I have ruach. I'm feeling good. It tastes good. My neshama will come into play when I finish eating, and I'm recognizing that I need to bench. There's something bigger. There's something more over here. There's something inside of this. Or while I eat, when I'm being present, that's also neshama active. So as also when I'm creating in Torah, that is also my neshama. Right? Okay, so let's just say learning is neshama. Chaya is as when I start creating in Torah. In other words, it's ruach mamalala. A targum touches a chaya as in a spirit that speaks. Right? It's something. It's already a chaya. It's a living thing. I already have a das. I'm realizing that I'm a godly thing. When I realize I'm a godly thing, what am I in touch with? What realizes that I'm a godly thing? Not my chest, not my feet. There's something in my head that realizes that I'm a tzelem elikim. I'm a flash. I keep flashing. Get look at. So that's chaya. Now in chaya I do yichudim, which means I'm sitting down to eat. I make a bracha. I was meyachet. I walk on the street and I say, "Good morning. Hey, when I see you, you bring a smile to my face." I was just meyachet something. I was walking. He was walking. We're both in our own thoughts. We're two shells. We're two oisias, two avanim. And I walk out, make a comment, boom, click. There was a yichud. He feels good. I feel better. And it's a great day. Everybody from there on, like for the next 2 hours, I'm buzzing, or it could be even longer. Now, all this is right now, we are making yichudim. We're doing tikkun. We're already in chaya. We've been operating in chaya. We're nasiya, but already in chaya. We're doing avodah of chaya. Everything we do is chaya. We're lacking the consciousness, but we are doing the chaya. Yechidah is going to be manifested in Mashiach. That's going to be Mashiach's Yechidah. What does he bring? What happens in Yechidah? In Yechidah, I'm no longer doing Yechudim. I am in Yechud. There is no separation anymore. There is no question in my mind that everything is Eibishter and there's nothing but Boyer. There's nothing else going on besides that. Yechidah that's why all the Yom Tovim are going to be about, like, except for Purim and whatever else, because we're going to be in it. Like Rav Shimon Bar Yochai was in the Mara for 13 years. He didn't have to do the lulav and esrik and eat matzah. He was able to be machav in that and get the job done, because that's a Yechidah thing. He's already there. Our bodies are not able to process Yechidah because there's still separation. As long as I still can't tolerate my neighbor or my friend or something, as long as somebody can still tick me off, I am not one with oneness. If anything still gets to me, I'm not in Yechidah. Because when I'm in Yechidah, I understand that that's a Dvar Avaya. I understand that this Gevurah coming at me is what Eibishter wants. There is nothing else but Eibishter. So if this is happening, then this is where it's at. And I need to just be in the moment and recognize that it's all good. Tzaddikim live in Yechidah. They are one, always in Dveikus. That's why they're able to give brachas, and boom, it happens. That's why they're constantly, whatever that way is. Of course, with Simcha. So right now we are entering into Yechidah. Why? Because anything after this comes Yechidah. We are going out of Golos, is going into Yechidah, going into oneness. We were doing the Birurim, we're doing the Hamtakas, and now it's time to step in. We're not going to talk about where the Birim coming from. That's for the year. I mean, what happened that needs to be Mavader. That's for later. But as I'm entering in other words, we're closing the gap. So once again, as I'm going away from the past and the future, I'm starting to live in the moment. I'm becoming present. That is me being. Because when I'm still in the past and the future, there's still separation. Oh, I wish I would have done that. That deal. Oh, I had great. I did amazing. Oh, that guy, I can't believe he did that to me. That's all living in past and future. When I live in the moment, nobody does anything to me, and there's no missed opportunities. Everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be. It's bidiyuk. That is Yechidah. That is Mashiach consciousness. Ruach Hashem Mashiach. That's Yechidah. And once again, how do we know that we're entering into this era? Because first of all, Chassidus is telling us, and the Rebbe has been telling us for years. He said 25 years ago that Mashiach is already here. We just need to wake up to it, right? Outside of the Chabad world, we're just too toxic to accept that type of concept because everybody was judging that whatever that he's assuming things, but the part that's not, it's irrelevant. It's real childish talk. Who cares? But here, even there was Kabbalah Israel here in Chabad, there was Kabbalah Israel, but we weren't Kalim. We didn't know how do we do this? Nobody knew how to connect. So now comes the plague, comes the first Makkah, and people are getting stopped in their tracks. So we had shrinkage, and we're in the moment, and we're starting to close the gap. So as we're starting to close the gap, things that used to be important are not important anymore because I'm getting more into the moment. Right? Choshech will try to distract us and pull us out to get me busy again. So those are the five nefesh, ruach, neshama, chai, yechidah, and we all have that also within ourselves. We finish Asiya, we go to we download different higher consciousness, and as we have to say, halvayu, they should only have accomplished nefesh, but whatever, we don't do that. We go. We don't measure. We have no measuring tapes. We know exactly where we need to be, and we're there. And we don't care. We're right now like ka'anas, like the worm on the shoulder of a giant. So we don't care about the levels of the madrigas. We just know that when I'm happy, I'm in the highest consciousness. When I give a quarter, I'm right there. When I say a good word, and when I'm not, then I'm not. This is where it's at. All right, awesome.